Be sure to watch this video all the way to the end, because if you think you've seen it when it comes to world records, think again. This is Top 5 Best, and on today's list, we're counting down the 13 craziest world records of all time. Number 13, fastest 100-meter hurdle done wearing swim fins. Yeah, apparently this is a real thing, and someone holds the world record for it. On September 13th, 2008, a German named Maren Zonker became the new world record holder, which means that other people have also attempted and held it before her, when she ran the 100-meter hurdle in swim fins at a time of 22.35 seconds. Like, how did Maren orchestrate this with Guinness? Did she just drop them an email saying, "I'm gonna try and beat the 100-meter hurdle while wearing swim fins world record, lol. Come watch me, LMAO." But if you know anything about the 100-meter hurdle, you'll know that it's hard. Like, really hard. So you may laugh at the absurdity of this world record, but if you were to try it yourself, I guarantee you'd be impressed with those who have done it successfully.
Smashed it. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Number 12, the world's largest rubber band ball. How many rubber bands do you think make up this world record? 1,000? 50,000? 100,000? Try over 700,000 rubber bands. It was made in the driveway of some dude named Joe Wall in Lauderdale, Florida, on November 13th, 2008. He named it Megaton, and the thing stands over 6 feet, 7 inches high, and weighs 9,032 pounds. Yeah, that's a lot of rubber bands. Joel's journey to make this sucker started back in April of 2004, and just 4 years later, he landed himself a spot in the Guinness Book of World Records with his accomplishment. The ball itself is now owned by Ripley's Believe It or Not, which makes me wonder how much they paid for it, and if they got it battened down pretty good wherever it's at. Because if this thing rolls away, it's gonna play out much worse than it did for Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Number 11, the world's longest beard. Swaran Singh of Canada has held and broken his own world record 3 times in a row. First, on November 11, 2008, he broke the previous world record and set the new one with his own beard,
Oh my goodness!
which measured between the tip of his chin and the end of his beard. It came at 7.6 feet. Then, just 2 years later, on March 4th, 2010, in at 7 feet 9 inches, breaking his own previous record. Then, that next year, in September 2011, where he appeared on the United States TV show, his beard had grown even longer, this time to 8 feet 2.5 inches in length. Like, how does he wash that thing, or stop himself from stepping over it and pulling it out of his face? The answer to those 2 questions alone may be world records in their own right. Number 10, longest time spent sitting in ice. There are people out there that, as soon as the cold hits them, they run right back inside to the comfort of their own warm home. Those same exact people would probably find number 10 on our list to a crazy person, as the longest time spent in direct, full body contact with ice is 1 hour, 53 minutes, and 10 seconds. This record was set by Jin Songhao of China on September 4th, 2014. The previous record was 1 hour, 42 minutes, and 22 seconds, and that was achieved on January 23rd, 2009 by Wim Hof of the Netherlands, a man whose name sounds like a dwarf sneezing. Yeah, as a person who gets frostbite as soon as they step outside, this one is mind-boggling to me. It must take a lot of self-control and a certain type of meditation to sit in the cold for that long without screaming in numbingly agonizing pain.
Word in from the official adjudicator. 1 hour, 1 minute, and 31 seconds on the clock.
But if you think being buried alive in ice is bad, well, number 9, the longest time spent being buried alive. If you're not claustrophobic, you certainly will be after hearing number 9 on our list here. See, when you pass away to the great beyond, you might just find yourself being buried in a coffin. That nice, tight little home that's going to be yours for eternity. Well, since you're no longer with us, it's okay to not have the space for some wiggle room, because you're not going to be wiggling anymore. But imagine, if you will, complete madmen out there who insist on being buried alive in one of these things, just to say they broke a world record or two. Enter Zednik Zaradka of the Czech Republic, a madman seeming in love with death, who was buried underground in a coffin for, get this, 10 days without any food or water. All he had going for him was a breathing pipe, and that was it. Total darkness, with nowhere to use the bathroom and no way to scratch his nose if it started to itch. Feeling uncomfortable yet? What's even more staggering to believe is that the previous world record for this was only 4 days. I guess this dude really wanted to make sure no one would ever attempt to break his world record ever again. Number 8, the world's largest shoe. If you know a giant who's sick and tired of walking around barefoot, then send him over to Hong Kong. They've got the world's largest shoe ever made there, coming in at roughly 20 feet by 7 feet, with a height of around 5 foot. It was created by Electric Seki of Hong Kong in April 12, 2013. The shoe in question was a replica of a Superga 2750 shoe. The reason behind its creation was to celebrate the opening of Superga in Hong Kong, and Electric Seki is the exclusive distributor of the shoe brand in both Hong Kong and China. I suppose instead of this, they could have just made, I don't know, actual shoes to celebrate the brand coming to Hong Kong for people to wear. But hey, people love a good PR stunt. Number 7. The longest time spent instant messaging. Yeah, we're about to take a trip back in time here, where AOL Instant Messenger was the go-to way to talk to all your friends after school online. Before Facebook Messenger, before Snapchat, before Instagram DMing, if you wanted to tell someone hot gossip, this was the way it was done. And for 96 hours straight, or simply 4 days, Norman Perez of California stayed logged into AOL Instant Messenger, typing away non-stop to whoever it was he could talk to for that time period. Let's hope he had a lot of friends to facilitate his interest in this. Or at the very least, let's hope he was a hoot and a holler in some old school chat rooms. Because I can see this world record attempt getting boring real fast if you don't have someone there to talk to. And sleep was never an option here. At most, according to the rules as laid out by the Guinness Book of World Records, Perez was allowed a 5-minute break every hour. So, unless he was able to micronap, this dude had to stay up the whole time to get this record, which he eventually very much so did. Number 6. The world's stretchiest skin. Remember Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four? Well, this guy isn't quite as elastic as him, but he's the next closest thing, so just roll with it. Due to a rare medical condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, Gary Turner of the United Kingdom can stretch his skin up to, get this, 6.25 inches long. The medical condition comes from a disorder of the connective tissues affecting the skin, ligaments, and internal organs. Because of this, the collagen, or in layman's terms, the stuff that strengthens the skin and determines its elasticity, becomes defective, which allows for Turner to stretch his skin over certain parts of his body like a creature out of a horror film. Number 5. Highest insured hair. Professional American football player Troy Polamalu of the National Football League's Pittsburgh Steelers had his trademark locks insured for $1 million through Lloyd's of London, with some help by Procter & Gamble shampoo brand Head & Shoulders, of which he is also a spokesperson for. He got this done on August 30th, 2010. As a tribute to his Samoan ancestors, Polamalu has not cut his hair since 2000. At the time of his insurance, Polamalu's hair was nearly 3 feet long. And this isn't the first time someone has insured their own body parts. Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones got his musical hands insured for $2 million. Famous eye candy singer Tom Jones got his iconic chest hair insured for $7 million. And professional European soccer player David Beckman got his legs insured for a staggering $70 million. Wow. Number 4. Heaviest weight pulled with eye sockets. Australian Cheyenne Holtgren, aka the Space Cowboy, pulled 907 pounds when he was on the set of an Italian television program on April 25th, 2009. The show was once again Lo Show di Record, and the Space Cowboy pulled a rickshaw with 3 ladies on it and over 100 kilograms of metal weights. Don't worry, it wasn't painful at all for the space. Don't worry. It wasn't painful at all, as the Space Cowboy used fish hooks to connect the rickshaw to his eyes and hook them onto the lacrimal bones underneath his eye. Again, not painful stuff at all, so I don't get what the big deal is. Talk to me when you pulled a house down the street, guys. Number 3. The youngest person to ever climb Mount Everest. This bragging right belongs to 13-year-old Jordan Romero of California, when he climbed the tallest mountain on Earth with his dad, stepmom, and 3 local Sherpas in May of 2012. The previous world record was held by 16-year-old Temba Tashiri of Nepal, who set the record back in 2001. And in case you didn't know it, it takes 2 months to climb to the top of Everest. So yeah, this kid was pretty dedicated to get this record under his belt. Number 2. The most concrete blocks broken while holding a raw egg. Wait, what? Who came up with this idea for a world record? Well, anyways, it's a real deal. And it happened at the American Dojo Academy in Bradenton, Florida, on October 3rd, 2015. The man who broke the previous record of 24 concrete blocks was Kevin Berquist, who ended up breaking 28 of those bad boys. Good for you, I guess.
Alright, I saved the best for last, but first I have a quick challenge that only takes 5 seconds to complete. So if you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Just give it a try, it really works.
Number 1. The world's largest commercially available hamburger for purchase. Hey, if you're ever in the mood to eat after starving yourself for days and you've got a cool $5,000 lying around, then consider hitting up Juicy's Outlaw Grill, based in Corvallis, Oregon, where they sell the world's largest commercially available hamburger for purchase. Just how big is it? Well, it weighs in at an even and lucky 777 pounds. How much is it going to set you back? Well, it's been sold for $5,000, and the cooks need 48 hours notice for prep time to cook this monstrosity. But if that's a little pricey for you, Maley's Sports Grill and Bar in Southgate, Michigan sells a smaller portion of this hamburger. Theirs only weighs 338.6 pounds. You gotta call them 72 hours in advance, and if you want to dine in with it, it'll cost you around $200. But if you're in a hurry, you can get it to go for an additional $200. Still hungry? Anyways, that's it for this list. Like I always say, if you did make it this far, make sure to hit us down in the comments, or just say, what's up? Also, don't forget to drop a like down below. We're top 5 best, and thanks for watching, guys. See you around.